would you think if your partner asked if they could watch you masturbate? Or maybe you're the one who is interested in sharing a bit of masturbation time with your partner. Either way, you are in luck, because today we are diving deep into the topic of mutual masturbation. My name is Helena Nista and I make videos that help you have the best sex of your life. And today we're discussing the topic of mutual masturbation. So the term mutual masturbation is actually defined in two different ways. First of all, it can be understood as touching each other, as masturbating each other, as in you're manually stimulating your partner and they are manually stimulating you. While the second definition describes a situation where you are both touching yourselves, so you're masturbating yourself, touching your own body and your own genitals, and your partner is doing the same, but you are doing that in the same space or witnessing each other in the presence of each other. So I actually feel like a term shared masturbation probably would be better suited here, because it would describe the situation more accurately. And if you feel mortified just hearing about this kind of activity, sharing this kind of activity with your partner, you're not the only one. A lot of people feel like they would never dare masturbating in front of their partner. This is way too much of a personal and a private experience. However, a lot of women who have either walked in on their partners masturbating or just asked their partner to touch themselves in front of their female partner, they describe often the situation as hot, arousing, or educational. So what's really mutual masturbation about? And could it benefit you and your relationship? First of all, I absolutely agree. Witnessing each other masturbate is an extremely intimate, even vulnerable experience. Most people have never seen their partner touch themselves, or have never shown their partners how they touch their own bodies. But in reality, experiences of sharing mutual masturbation together can be extremely fun and exciting for both partners. After all, you know best how to touch yourself for most pleasure, and there's no need to try to teach your partner or describe to your partner how to touch you better. You can do it yourself exactly the way that you like it. Plus, if for whatever reason you're both separated by a certain distance, like being in different cities, countries, etc., you can also perform mutual masturbation over the phone or over a video call. So if this sounds like something that's interesting or intriguing to you, maybe have a chat with your partner about it first. Definitely don't surprise them with actually introducing the activity without prior communication, but have a chat with them first just to see what they think about it and would they be open to trying it together. You might even want to show them this video or watch it together with them as an introduction to the topic. And by the way, if your partner is a no, or if you feel like this is not necessarily something you would want to do or enjoy, that's perfectly fine as well. It's not for everybody, not everybody has to do it. It's just one of those beautiful, fun, exciting activities that certain couples can use to enrich their sex lives together. So first of all, why would anybody want to do it? Why would you want to masturbate yourself while watching your partner do the same thing instead of having sex together? Well, a lot of couples can fall into a bit of a routine when it comes to their sex lives, and that routine over time can get a little bit boring, more or less boring for different couples. So introducing mutual masturbation into your bedroom activities as one of your bedroom activities together can be a different, fun, and interesting thing to do together. And particularly if you don't play a lot in your life, which a lot of adults don't have a lot of playtime or fun time, just in general terms. I'm not even talking about sexual fun specifically, but doing things which are just fun for the sake of doing fun things, that can be really enjoyable and really wonderful for both of you. Besides, when it comes to mutual masturbation, pleasure is pretty much guaranteed. As I mentioned before, you know your own body best. You know how to touch yourself for most pleasure, for easiest arousal, for most satisfying orgasms. Besides, it is a wonderful learning/teaching opportunity. You can actually show your partner how you really enjoy to be touched. It can be tricky to describe to your partner what you like or ask them to touch you differently when it comes to those shared sexual activities. So masturbating in front of them is a great opportunity to actually show them what you really like, how you enjoy it, and what are new or different ways to touch your body and touch your genitals that maybe your partner hasn't been aware of so far. And vice versa, you can do the same by learning from them, by seeing them, how they are touching their body and their genitals. You can pick up new things or new tips and techniques for when you'll be touching them next. Many different people enjoy the voyeuristic aspect of sexuality, witnessing, watching, seeing someone being naked, touching themselves, being sexual, etc. Like, for a lot of people, that's really hot. And maybe you even have an inner exhibitionist. Maybe you find being watched hot and exciting and arousing as well. Mutual masturbation is also a great option for long distance couples, as I mentioned before. Having mutual masturbation sessions over the phone or a video call can be a fantastic way to stay connected intimately, to stay sexual together, to remain sexual together when you can't be actually together in the same room and physically touching each other. For other couples, penetration might not be an option for a variety of reasons, from health to mental issues to emotional issues, or for whatever other reasons. So in those situations as well, masturbating in front of each other can be such a fun, intimate, wonderful way to stay sexual together, to keep sharing your sexuality with each other. And in situations where getting pregnant might be a risk that you would rather avoid, or transferring an STI from one of you to the other one, in those cases also mutual masturbation is such a wonderful solution because there's no touch, there's no exchange of bodily fluids, so it's completely safe when it comes to both the risk of pregnancies and STIs. I do want to address the question that comes up in my or under my videos very often whenever I speak of self-touch and masturbation. And the question is it wrong? Is it wrong to touch your own body? Is it wrong to masturbate, particularly when you are in a relationship? So no, absolutely not. It is not wrong at all. There's actually a lot of research that confirms that touching your own body is actually very beneficial for your physical health, for your mental health, and even for your emotional health and well-being. And while we know all of that and we have all the data and research to support it, there unfortunately is still so much stigma and taboo around masturbation, around self-touch and self-pleasure. And I think that's why these questions come up, and that's why people ask so often, is it actually wrong to do it? And I'm aware that there are different religions or different philosophical systems or different social rules and regulations that tell us that certain things are wrong or that they are a sin. But whether you believe that or not is a matter of your personal belief system and which one of these different philosophies you actually sign up to and subscribe to. I'm personally not religious at all, and I don't sign up to any kind of system of belief that tells me that touching my own body is wrong. I've seen enough research and data that tells me that touching my own body and being sexual is actually extremely healthy and beneficial, both to yourself as a person and also to your relationship. So this is where I believe just discernment is so important in actually deciding for yourself. Who do you believe and what's actually good and right for you? Okay, so let's get practical. How do you actually organize and arrange a session of mutual masturbation? First of all, make sure that both yourself and your partner are comfortable. If you are doing mutual masturbation in the same room, maybe prepare that room a little bit in terms of making sure that it's nice and tidy, that it's warm enough or cool enough, depending on your preferences. Maybe put some music on, maybe put some dim lights on or a candle, etc. Whatever works for you. It might be also a good idea to keep a lubricant handy, plus any other toys and accessories that both of you like and enjoy. And as long as you are in the same room, there are a few positions that you might find interesting or helpful, or that will actually work for you. And the first position is facing each other. So you could be both sitting up Or you could be kind of leaning back, but not so much that you can't see each other anymore, but enough that you are actually comfortable. And you might be also on all fours, so being able to touch yourself and look at your partner and see them, but also being comfortable in your own body, in your own space. And you might choose here to be fairly close to each other or quite far apart in like different parts or different corners of the room, a few meters apart, or as close as almost touching but not quite. We're not talking about touching each other here, we're talking about having sort of separate sexual experiences where you're able to see each other. Another option when it comes to positions here is to actually be side by side, so not facing each other but being side by side. This still allows for closeness. You can still kind of look at them and see what they're doing, but this position reduces the amount of eye contact that you're going to have here. So if eye contact is a bit of a challenge or a bit too much in this situation for you, you might opt for the side-by-side position. And you might also choose a position where you're both actually connected and touching each other. You might be sitting so that your leg is touching your partner's leg, or maybe your legs are draped over their legs, etc. But making sure that you can still touch yourself comfortably and your partner can touch themselves. Okay, let's talk techniques. What are some good techniques that you might want to play with and experiment with here? Full body teasing and stroking yourself all over first, like really taking your time, is a wonderful idea, because when we think masturbation, we typically want to jump straight to our genitals, but there's a lot more than that, and you might actually end up finishing a lot quicker than your partner does, and generally you might just kind of cut the experience a bit short, when this could be a wonderful feast of the senses that goes on for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour or longer, in which case it might make more sense, it will make more sense to actually pace yourself, take your time and stroke and tease your entire body first. Plus, don't forget that you're also in this way giving your partner a great show, because you're giving them more of a feast for their eyes while they are watching you. And of course, whenever you're ready, you can reach for your genitals and start stroking yourself, and then moving away from your genitals to the rest of your body, and etc., playing in this way. But another fun alternative here for stimulating your body and your genital area might be actually dry humping something. Might be riding a cushion or a blanket, or even a soft toy, etc. Or you might want to bring sex toys into the picture and stimulate your own body with your favorite sex toys, whether they vibrate and can stimulate your entire body and your genitals with vibrations, or whether they perform some other functions. If you're playing with dildos or dildo-shaped toys and accessories, you can engage in self-penetration, whether you're a man or a woman. This can be a really hot experience for you and for your partner to watch and witness. Or you might invest in remotely controlled sex toys, where you are holding and keeping the sex toy and you are using it, but your partner is actually controlling it. So they are pushing the buttons or controlling the toy through their phone, through an app in their phone, so that you lose some of the control over the stimulation of your body. If you wish, you can even take this fun a little bit further and engage in a bit of a domination play, where either yourself or your partner becomes the dominant, and the dominant person will be then telling the other one, the submissive partner, what to do or not to do. And this might include things like telling them how to touch themselves, or telling them when to look or not look at you when you're touching yourself. Bringing your voices to this experience can be really, really fun, hot, and enriching for both of you. And this could sound like pleasure sounds, meaning deep breathing, sighing, or moaning. Or on the other hand, engaging in sex talk together, where you're maybe describing to your partner what you're doing. So not only doing things to yourself, but also describing to your partner what you're doing and how it feels. Obviously, this part would be particularly important if you're on the phone, if you can't actually see each other, if you are masturbating mutually at a certain distance. So practicing this kind of sex talk can be really helpful here. and you might maybe both discover that you find it arousing as well. One more interesting option to explore when it comes to sounds, making sounds, or using our voice during a mutual masturbation session is actually reading erotica to each other. So one of you could be doing the reading and the other one doing the masturbating, or the one who is reading could be doing some self-touching at the same time. So you've discussed this topic, you decided to go ahead, you've prepared the room, you've prepared all the toys and lube and accessories, etc. And now you're playing, you're engaging in touching yourself, and your partner is doing the same, and you can see each other. What to do if something doesn't feel right, if something is actually wrong, if you feel like this is not quite working out the way that you wanted it to work out? Definitely say something. Don't just go with it. Don't just force the experience if it just doesn't quite feel right in your body or in your head or in your heart. This experience is meant to be pleasurable. Like I said, pleasure is pretty much guaranteed. So if it's not happening for you or it just feels off, you definitely need to say something. And here are a few options for you in this kind of a situation. First of all, request a change. If you can kind of put a finger on what's going wrong, what you're not enjoying, just ask them to make that change. Could we do things a bit differently here so that it feels better for me? Another option would be to say to them, honey, I'm just not feeling it so much right now. Could I just witness you while you're touching yourself? So in this situation, you can just relax and just enjoy the show, enjoy watching them while they're continuing with their experience, with their masturbation, provided that it's all going well for them and that's what they want to do. Another option is to actually stop the experience of mutual masturbation, of the separate masturbation, and just move on to touching each other. If that's what you both want and desire, if there is a mutual consent that actually we would rather just touch each other, have intercourse, etc., then definitely go ahead with that. Or you could just simply request a rain check. Just say, okay, we've tried this is just not really happening tonight. It's not going well, this is not the right time for it maybe. Let's try it at a different time. Bottom line, don't be afraid to say something. This is also your mutual masturbation experience, and it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be exciting, and it's supposed to be very pleasurable. And since it is still May, and May is the International Masturbation Month, I hope that you have been celebrating masturbation and self-touch and self-pleasure since the beginning of the month, or maybe even longer. And if you'd like a little bit of help and a bit of a hand with your self-pleasuring sessions, with your self-touch practice, I have a fantastic online course, Masturbation Coaching, that is currently on special. Masturbation coaching is a wonderful and deeply pleasurable journey of deepening and expanding your own self-touch practice. So if you maybe feel a little uninspired when it comes to touching your own body, or if you feel like things could get better because maybe they feel a little stale or boring in the masturbation department, you will absolutely love masturbation coaching. But please bear in mind that the discounted spots are limited, so if you would like to enroll, make sure to do it as soon as possible. You'll find both the link and the discount code in the description bar below, and I look forward to seeing you there.